John Denver was a legendary singer-songwriter, an adored entertainer, artist, actor, conservationist, and philanthropist. This man didn't sit still. Denver's artistic journey lasted for over 40 years, and his melodies have stood the test of time, transcending numerous musical fads and earning multiple accolades and recognitions. Listen up. Learn about the terrifying ordeal that charismatic singer John Denver encountered in his final moments. But this video has a positive message. Our message is this: live your life to the full. Enjoy every moment you get, because your next moment could be your last. Denver had one dangerous hobby. At the age of 53, that very hobby became his downfall. Born Henry John Deutschendorf Jr. on December 31, 1943, in Roswell, New Mexico, John Denver grew up in a military family that moved home across various states. His father was a U.S. Air Force pilot and flight instructor, so Denver had to move around a lot with his family. He ran away from home several times, but his father always brought him back. Denver discovered his passion for music at the age of 11 in rural Oklahoma. He got a guitar as a gift from his doting grandmother. He started taking guitar lessons and became a member of a boys' choir. He honed his craft by performing at local venues as a teenager. This eventually inspired him to chase his passion for a music career at the age of 20. In the late 1960s, John Denver relocated to Los Angeles in pursuit of a music career. After being selected from a pool of 250 aspiring musicians, he landed his big break in the music scene as the frontman of the well-known Mitchell Trio. Over the course of 2 years and 3 successful albums, Denver refined his impressive singing abilities and crafted his unique songwriting approach. In 1969, his song "Leaving on a Jet Plane" became a hit for the American folk group Peter, Paul, and Mary. John then released his own version of the song. This beautiful song, sung in his own unique and soothing voice, quickly climbed to the top of the charts. It marked his first #1 hit. Throughout the 1970s, John continued to release a series of successful albums. They included Poems, Prayers, and Promises, Rocky Mountain High, and Back Home Again. He had several hit singles too, such as Sunshine on My Shoulders, Annie's Song, and Thank God I'm a Country Boy. John Denver captured hearts and touched the soul. His mellow voice echoed across the music scene of the 1970s. His unique blend of country and folk music attracted audiences around the world. Everyone loved him and his music. John Denver released a series of hit albums and singles throughout his career. Driven by a deep desire to foster connections across borders, he embarked on a journey that led him to explore uncharted musical and geographical landscapes. His talents caught the attention of the Soviet Union of Composers in 1985, who extended an invitation for him to showcase his skills in the USSR. This experience served as the catalyst for the creation of the widely praised song, "Let Us Begin, What Are We Making Weapons For?" The impactful music video that they made for this song touched hearts and resonated with audiences worldwide. Then he embarked on a concert tour of the USSR in 1986. These shows marked the inaugural performances by an American artist during the Cold War era, signifying a groundbreaking cultural interchange between the United States and the Soviet Union. In 1987, he returned to the USSR to headline a charity concert for the victims of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Furthermore, he undertook a multi-city tour across mainland China in October 1992. John's music often portrayed his deep connection with the natural world, showcasing his love for the great outdoors. Rocky Mountain High is more than just a catchy tune or a simple song title. It has embedded itself into the everyday language of individuals worldwide. The allure of the picturesque landscapes described in Denver's lyrics has enticed a significant influx of people to relocate to Colorado. The song catches the feeling of exhilaration at the top of a mountain. John dedicated a significant amount of his time to activities such as backpacking, hiking, climbing, and fishing. In addition to these pursuits, he also enjoyed playing golf and skiing, frequently taking part in charity events for both sports. John Denver possessed a multitude of talents, one of which was his exceptional skill in photography. He captured stunning images of individuals and locations he encountered during his journeys, showcasing his work in a professional manner. His photographs were often displayed alongside his engaging speeches at various educational institutions, government buildings, and corporate settings nationwide. John Denver also had lifelong interest in space exploration. He even did a NASA test to see if he had the right aptitude and physical condition to be an astronaut. He passed this exam with flying colors. He even planned to be the first civilian in place. He wanted to travel on the Challenger space mission. He planned to create the first song in outer space. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, he failed the final tests. Challenger blew up on takeoff. There were no survivors. He was disappointed that they didn't choose him, but he lived to die another day. Besides his passion for music, John Denver adored flying. He obtained his pilot's license in the 1970s and spent the rest of his life flying. His love of aviation has been captured in a documentary titled The Higher We Fly. He was an experienced pilot. He had over 2,700 flight hours under his belt. But he didn't understand this tricky little plane like he should. The state-of-the-art Rutan Long EZ plane was the most recent and dangerous contribution to his private collection. This Long EZ was the brainchild of a designer in Texas. He fell in love with it at first sight. So, he did a test flight and bought it for $56,000. He loved aerobatics and gliding. He used to switch off the engine of his small planes, just so he could glide through the air. But John Denver was a daredevil, an adrenaline junkie. Nothing scared him, nothing. This was why millions love him. Nevertheless, this was why he suffered so bad in the end. John Denver had just had shoulder surgery. This must have affected his ability to maneuver his plane. Nevertheless, he was planning to fly his experimental Rutan Long EZ aircraft down the California coast from Monterey Airport to Van Nuys Airport, close to Los Angeles. Tragically, John Denver did fly too high on his own jet plane on that fateful day, October 12, 1997. In his struggle for survival, 53-year-old John accidentally pushed down hard on the right rudder pedal as he turned in his seat, causing the aircraft to bank sharply to the right. Despite his heroic efforts, John never managed to regain control and tragically crashed into the Pacific Ocean just off the shoreline. In a desperate attempt to reach the nearest airport in Salinas, only 30 short miles away, John tragically met his demise. This was a terrible and painful loss to the millions that adored and admired him. Search and rescue teams discovered his wreckage just 150 yards away from the rocky coast, submerged in 30 feet deep water. The weather conditions at the time were described as clear and peaceful. There were no suspicious weather patterns. Following the devastating incident, the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, conducted a thorough investigation into the crash. They meticulously examined the remains in order to uncover the root cause of the accident. The team of investigators dispatched to the crash site determined that John was flying alone and had neglected to wear a shoulder harness. But this was not his fatal error. The results of the investigation revealed a simple yet critical cause. John Denver had run out of gas. The official investigation determined that John had only 26 gallons of fuel on board at the beginning of the flight, although his plane could hold up to 48 gallons. But pilot error also contributed to the tragedy. Realizing that he was running low on fuel, he began to panic. A sense of impending doom engulfed him. He never found the fuel selector valve that would have let him switch between tanks and give him the life-saving fuel he needed so bad. That last injection of fuel might have saved John Denver's life. Eyewitnesses on the ground saw John Denver flying peacefully through the air, then spiraling out of control to the ground. He left Monterey Airport around 5 p.m. on that tragic day, soaring through the sky west towards that ocean he loved so much. There were no distress signals, no time for that extravagance. Then, the search and rescue mission discovered John Denver, country singer legend, deceased, his planet in ruins around him. On October 13, 1997, the medical report came out. Monterey County medical examiner confirmed that John Denver's death had been caused by severe blunt force trauma. Blunt force trauma refers to forceful impacts with dull objects, causing internal organ injuries that are not all visible. John had sustained multiple broken ribs and a fractured skull, injuries that sealed his fate. It took rescuers all evening to collect all his major body parts scattered around the wreckage and submerged in about 25 feet of ocean. John Denver became the proud father of a single biological child, a lovely daughter they named Jessie Belle Denver. Jessie came into the world on May 18, 1989, to singer John Denver and actress Cassandra Delaney. Jessie holds the distinction of being John Denver's only biological offspring. She was born in the midst of her parents' romance, but sadly their love story did not have a fairy tale ending, and nor did he. John and Cassandra broke up, and the rest is history. Despite her father's immense success in the music industry, Jessie chose to forge her own path. Instead of being a singer like her father, she decided to pursue a career in the world of art, on painting and sculpture. Jessie's passion for art led her to the prestigious Rhode Island School of Design. There, she honed her skills. She later completed her education at the renowned Parsons School of Design in New York, specializing in sculpture. Jessie Denver is a talented artist in her own right, carving out a niche for herself in the art world. On occasion, she has opened up about the lasting impact her father had on her life. She fondly recalls how John Denver's music had a constant presence in their home as she grew up, shaping her artistic perspective profoundly. She has openly discussed how her father has inspired her creativity, so his art also lives on and grows through hers. Here is a snapshot of one of his most beautiful songs, but this song is so sad. It is like he is saying goodbye to the world. He is holding on to every moment of love. He is afraid he might not come back. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. Nevertheless, her father's terrifying death preys on her mind. It is the afternoon of October 12, 1997, and legendary country singer John Denver is taking his last flight in his small private plane, a Rutan Long-EZ. Everything is counting against him in these last terrifying moments of life. He ran low on fuel. He panicked. He squirmed around. He hit the right rudder pedal. He banked to the right. He spiraled out of control. So, all of this is counting against him in this final desperate struggle to survive. If you like this video, please remember to subscribe to our channel. John Denver died without a will. He was not married at the time of his death, but his 3 children were entitled to inherit it all. He had 3 children from his previous marriage to Annie Martell, his biological daughter, Jessie Belle Denver, and 2 adopted sons named Zachary Denver and Cody Denver. His estate consisted of unpublished music, his place of residence, his properties. His estate had a value of $5 million in 1997, $10 million at present. He had also set up trusts in his children's names. None of this, of course, makes up for the tragedy of his passing. Fans mourned the loss of a talented and beloved artist. His love for music and aviation made him a distinctive and cherished icon in American society. Throughout his life, he achieved great success and left behind a musical legacy that continues to inspire and entertain his fans. His premature passing broke hearts. It deeply saddened the millions who admired his immense talent. Despite the sorrow that accompanied his departure, John Denver's music and soothing voice and lyrics remain a source of joy and inspiration. The moral of this story is enjoy every moment of your life while you can. No matter how talented and happy you are, it can all end in a moment. Nor should you take risks. Make sure you did all the right prep. John Denver didn't have enough fuel for his trip, so don't let that ever happen to you.